Welcome, everybody. Welcome to GE Studios, and this is the interview. Now, we have an amazing guest in our studio, and together we'll be talking about a very interesting topic. And I really like to introduce him, or possibly let him introduce himself. Richard,
Good day.
please introduce yourself.
Okay. My name is Edward Richard, and I've been a guest in this studio for one or two times now. And it's really been a pleasure being here, and I'm really happy to be here. Thank you.
It's really a pleasure to have you here, Richard, once more. The last time we were in the studio and we talked, it was sometime last year.
Yeah.
December too. It was also December
That's
then.
about the year.
Yeah, so almost a year now. Because we talked about Christmas, I suppose then.
Of course.
Yeah, so really happy to have you here, Richard.
Thank you.
So the topic in our hands is proposing on one knee. Okay, so it's really a dicey one, very controversial, but with your knowledge, I know we can really talk about this topic and see our viewers will definitely, learn one or two things. Okay, so first of all, can you give us a brief history of this proposal on one knee? How did it start, when, and you know?
Thank you very much for that. That's a really very nice way to start this topic, to know the origin and how it started. Okay, fine. Let me dive into that. It started with the medieval Europe in the 12th to 15th century for the knights. Okay, and what they usually do then is the knights, in honor, loyalty, and obedience to their lord, they kneel before them. And then it also cuts across to the courtly traditional love, where they also men also kneel before women. Okay, it shows honor to the women.
Okay, so from what you've just said now, it means originally it never had anything to do with marriage, and romantic relationships. So how did we transcend from that era to started proposing to, making a proposal to women or single women that men want to marry single women, you have to propose and getting down on one knee. So how did we get to that stage?
Now, talking about the whites or Africans.
Okay, from its origin, which is Europe, right? So how did it start there? Okay, I get from what you said that it started from the knights, that's as a form of loyalty to their lords, and then they teetered it towards respect to women and stuff like that. So what I'm trying to ask is, how did it get to a point where it became a norm in terms of proposing to a woman you're in love with and you intend to marry?
Okay, over time, it moved on from just paying loyalty or homage to the lords, and the men saw it as something that could be really romantic. So that is where they got the idea from, that we could actually do this to show that we respect and honor our women. So that was where the idea came from. Okay. It wasn't so before.
It was never so, but just you keep repeating the same thing, and then it had to get to the point.
Exactly.
Okay, really good background. I didn't know about this until you just you said it now. So that's really good. But another thing is the whole idea sold to Africans, especially Nigerians, because I've dated several women in the past, and then though they never got to marriage, okay, but I'm almost sure if I wanted to get married to them, it would have it would have led me to that point when I'll have to propose. And because it's the norm, I'll have to propose the conventional way, which is, going down on one knee and, asking the lady if you want to get married to me and stuff like that. So,
Okay.
how did we get to that point in Nigeria where, it becomes a norm now, and then when you don't propose to a woman on one, going down on one knee, it looks as if you're the odd person, in that, in that practice.
Okay. First and foremost, I'll start by saying that the Europeans or the Western culture have strong influence on our culture.
I agree with that.
So for Nigerians, it's majorly because it's a modern and trendy thing, and we just feel we can embed it into our own culture. And then that's what the public wants you to see, that that's very important. You should do it. And then coming from this perspective that the women would actually love that much. So they actually bought the idea. They subscribed to it.
Yeah, they do. Almost all of them, yeah.
I don't think there's, like you have 100%. I think it would just be 5% that would not want that.
Who wouldn't bother?
Yes, I'll tell you that we just want what's best, what's the most important thing, not trivialities and all of this. But in 100%, you have 5%. And the 5% is still shaky.
So now, Richard, do you think, now, first of all, I know, from what you've said, it is not an African tradition.
Not even a Nigerian tradition.
Yes, it is not in our way to propose on one knee. And I feel, from studies, different things I've read, that, this is more like a public show of affection. And African marriages back then used to be just families, family setups.
Yeah.
Family would just make, your family, for example, would make your family,
bride price negotiation.
And then other rituals like kola nuts sharing and, wine celebration and stuff like that, right? So, but this is something that is alien to us. But, because just from what you've said, that
of course,
Western ways have really, gotten to us so
very strong influence.
Now, Richard, would you say, I want you to keep more of this. Would you say that social media really propagated this a lot?
My answer will be yes.
Why?
Now, look at it. Now you want to know how he actually got into Nigeria.
Yes, I do.
Now, let's look at the year it became really popular in Nigeria. From the 1990s to 2010s, that was when it became really popular.
Yeah.
Now,
at about that time,
yes.
Yeah, sure.
Now, what really influenced this? The Western movies and TV shows.
That's true.
Then you now talk about the social media, and then there's this Instagram era proposals then. And then, Instagram was an in thing. Everyone wants to do. Yeah. And then when you see things like that, you feel, wow, this looks nice. It might not be my culture, but, you can just, okay, let me do this. And then over time, it became a norm. Okay, and then talking about organization and exposure to trendy weddings, whereby you get to see these things. It looks colorful, it looks interesting, and all of that. Everybody wants to practice it. But it doesn't mean that is affection.
So you're trying to say that when a man goes down on one knee to propose to a woman, it doesn't really matter. He could, he might not mean that, from the bottom of his heart. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Okay, let's put it this way. Someone who is genuine and then who is actually loyal and dedicated to and committed to the relationship he has with the woman might have a genuinity of heart and then still do that and is still genuine. But then there are people who just do that to win the woman's heart. And then when he has the woman in his house, then
his true colors come out.
That's just it.
Now, viewers, this is really a very controversial topic because there are different sides, and then I think basically it's a gender-based discussion or argument. Now, we want to know what you think about this. Are you the type who's good with going down on one knee to propose to a woman, or you're against it? You believe it's not African, so on that note, you're not going to do it and stuff like that. Let's get it in your comments on your comments in the comment section. Okay. Now, Richard, we've talked a lot, so far. You've given us the background, how it started, where it started from, and then how it crept into Nigeria and Africa as a whole.
Yeah.
Now, I'd like to ask you a question. Okay. If you were dating a woman,
All right.
and then you guys have been dating for some time, and then definitely you've come to the realization that you want to get married to that person, and it takes you to the point where you have to pop the question. As a person, Richard, you can ask me the same too, but you're on the hot seat now, right?
It's fine.
As a person, will you go down on one knee to propose to that woman, knowing you love her? Then the second question is, do you think if she's headstrong or not accepting a proposal because to her you feel so you're so nonchalant standing to propose, or you're sitting, do you think it's enough to call off whatever you guys share together?
Okay. That's a bit of tough question, but I would answer it. This is it. Starting with the first question.
Okay.
Would I end things if the woman really wants that, and then the woman is headstrong, and then from my own end, it's not something I'm cool with?
Yeah.
Now, this is it. If the woman is rational, she would look out for the most important things. I don't think proposal is about the position.
Okay.
It's about the genuineness of the heart. I can go down on one knee, I can decide to compromise, I can decide to fake it, go down one knee, propose to you, win you over, and then you are in my house, and then I do what is in my mind. And then the tables turn,
you don't do that anymore. But if you really love someone genuinely from your heart, should you not be able to do just about anything to make them feel happy?
Okay. Have you heard of the concept, the nice guy and the good guy?
Okay, tell me about it.
Okay, this is it. The nice guy will do everything a woman asks for. But then, sometimes it's not everything someone or a woman asks for you do. As a man, you are the leader. You have principles and values that you adhere to. So not because a woman says, oh, we're going to do this, you are the head. At the long run, if you do that, and then you guys didn't get to where you're supposed to get to, and then the whole thing crashes along the way, there'll still be a finger pointing at you that you're the leader, you're supposed to know better.
At this point, that's why I know that's why I believe that you should be sure that this is what you want to be doing with this person. So if you really love her, and then you know that these things will make her happy, come on, go ahead and do it. That's what I feel. So you're on the contrary.
Okay, fine. But then look at it this way. Would you start what at the end of the day you wouldn't be able to continue?
I must have agreed, from my conviction of my heart, my mind, that I want to do this. So I'll definitely finish it.
Let's be true to ourselves. Yeah. Would you be able to finish that?
Of course I will finish it.
Have you seen men that, the wife is trying to get into the car, they open the door and all of that? When you're trying to win the woman over, and then afterwards, maybe 2 months, 3 months, 1 year down the line, and it stops.
But proposing to a woman on one knee is just a one-time thing forever. So I'm not going to be kneeling down and proposing every single day of my life. So I'll just do it, and then
what that shows is
get over with it.
Since the woman was headstrong, and then you compromised to do that, it simply means whatever she asks along the line, you are going to do it.
But is marriage, Richard, not all about compromise, having a meeting point?
Yes, but not everything.
Oh, really?
There are some things. Okay, now look at it this way. The fact that you love someone does not mean you not tell the person the bitter truth. Okay?
Sure.
Now, I know for sure that this is going to, consume you or destroy you. Now, not because I love you, I wouldn't just keep quiet and say, okay, I don't want to have a fight and all of that, and I just let it be. At the end of the day, we're still going to have problems.
Well,
so I think it's all about saying it. Let's talk about it. You might feel bad about it, but how did I approach the issue? I can apologize at the end of the day. Oh, if you feel hurt by what I've said, but I'm only trying to make you see reasons why you shouldn't do this and the outcome of what you're about to do.
Okay, Richard, you're getting sneaky about that, but it's okay. Now, the second question:
right.
Do you think it's enough if you guys don't have a meeting point? There's no compromise here. Nobody's agreeing to it. Do you think it's enough a reason to call off a wedding, for example?
Okay, I would say this. Marriage or relationship is not necessarily about, or is not necessarily between two smart people. It's about two people who agree to go on that journey together. And it's about two selfless people, not two selfish people. If we become too smart and too intelligent, we'll capsize the boat.
Yeah, sure.
Or the ship, right?
Sure. It's not going to go anywhere, yeah.
You know? So that's it. There should be a point whereby someone steps down, but then it shouldn't be that it's one party that steps down all the time. The other person is going to be drained.
Yeah, it's going to wear the person.
Yes. Sacrifice should be from both sides. Okay? One shouldn't play the victim all the time and then I'm the one always apologizing and stuff. So it should be a two-sided thing whereby we know that you are selfless, I am selfless. I put your interest first, you put my interest first. You can see we are both benefiting, we're both having in the balance that we need.
Yeah, so really so nice. So viewers, you heard our guest Richard, and he says that they have to be the both parties have to have a meeting point where they compromise and agree, but not one person doing the compromise every single time. So it has to be hand in hand. Now, do you agree to what he said? Or you're on my side. Let's see. Let's have that conversation running. Okay. So Richard,
yeah,
you've really spoken so intelligently, and then
thank you.
I really appreciate it. Each time we have conversations like this, you really nail it every time, and then you give us facts, from history and what have you to really back up what you're saying.
Yeah.
Now, I'd like to say this, for the benefit of our viewers. The kneeling down on the proposal on one knee, to me, from my little research, some persons, also liken it to Christian religious, kind of practice. In Christianity, we kneel down to pray, and then people became a little bit what's the word I'm looking for? A little bit aware of the fact that when you kneel to God, He has compassion for you and answers your prayers, and is a form of kind of like blessing or stuff. So liking it to a woman, to winning a woman's heart, I think that's just like the trick there. Okay, so that's just for the benefit of our viewers. But your last words, Richard, before we wrap this up.
Okay, well, I would say this before I leave the studio, that what's more important is the things that matters most.
Okay.
Not triviality.
So whether you go down on one knee or you don't, it doesn't matter.
The position does not matter. Back then our forefathers never did anything like this.
Yeah, they never did.
Yes, and their marriages lasted for so long.
They had the perfect
But you've had scenarios and hear about scenarios whereby people get married and 2 months down the line the marriage is no more.
I feel it's just people trying to do what every other person is doing.
Yeah.
Because you get on social media, you see people posting stuff, and then you have to meet up.
One thing, the proposing on one knee gives you a picture perfect moment.
Yeah, really.
So, and then everything now, it's a social media thing. So everybody wants to do that. You want to have something to post. You want people to see that yours looks really better than the others, and then there's a competition going on and all of that.
Well said, Richard. Really amazing talk. You've had this conversation. You killed it. I really appreciate you opening our eyes to several things. I'm really happy to always have you in the studio.
Thank you so much.
Really happy. Thank you so much. We hope to see you on the next one.
Thank you.
So, viewers, we just had a conversation with our guest. He's a familiar face here every time. Richard, he's an amazing person. He has a lot of poems in our channel, so you can always check them out. Now, do well to drop comments on our comment section and always follow all our videos. We hope to see you on the next one. Thank you so much. Cheers.